Giants pick at 1. In this scenario, do you agree or disagree that we should have them trade out of that spot?
You have to trade out of this.
Right?
Right. You're going to get something here. Jackson Dart. I mean, I love Jackson Dart's game other than the fact he's got to protect himself. But Jackson Dart appears to have a very bright future. You have plenty of holes on your roster. You are getting out and taking advantage of the fact that other teams are quarterback needy, as you should.
And the three teams in the top 10 that I mentioned have 2 first-round picks in 2026. Cleveland sitting at 4, Jets at 7, and the Rams via Atlanta at 9. I think the Rams are going to be much more in the market too. Can we trade out of that spot and find a way to get another first-round pick next year? I don't think
they're going back. They're not going up.
I don't. And as it currently sits, they'd have picked 31 or 32 right now. But we'll see how the playoffs play out. They're going to have a pick in the mid to late 20s, if not early 30s.
Yep.
So trying to package that with something else to move up from 9 to 1 to get Mendoza, I just don't see Les Snead doing that.
I'm with you. I agree.
So now we're down to Cleveland at 4 and the Jets at 7. The Jets are sitting there and being like, you know what? There's all those quarterbacks next year. Do we want to move up? But what will it require us from 7 to 1? I think, I personally think the most reasonable trade for given these circumstances would be Cleveland going from 4 to 1.
Interesting.
It might be a new general manager, might be a new head coach. I'm not buying for a millisecond that Shedeur Sanders is their long-term answer at quarterback. I'm just not.
Okay.
I've seen others say that let's give them time, and I just don't see it, especially if it's a current regime. Although I would say the percentages of them both being back to general manager Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, are probably slim.
I'd also say that I do think, I've said this before and I'll stand by it, that I think the Jets are the most likely to do it because they have the most firepower. But the Browns have an interesting chip in Myles Garrett, and I'm wondering if that's going to finally run its course.
No, it's not.
I would say this. Why not?
Because you can't trade Myles Garrett, who's about to set the single season sack record, and he is the reason why your defense is that good.
I'm telling you right now, if you have a player who's unhappy and doesn't want to be in the building, and you can't listen,
what would make a player happier than finally getting a franchise quarterback, finally getting the number 1 overall pick?
I don't know, but he's been there before and they haven't done it right. And I'll say this. Myles Garrett Micah Parsons is probably the number 2 edge in the league. Myles Garrett is head and shoulders above him. I want to be clear about that. But we heard last year that you cannot trade Micah Parsons. Look what the run that Dallas is on now. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying they can't. I'm saying we're now creating all sorts of problems.
That's what I like to do. Let's go. We'll keep it moving.
So what about Cleveland? Let's go with Cleveland moving up to 1. I think it's interesting. Keeps it simple for now.
So we're swapping those two guys.
Maybe a new GM, new head coach, fresh start, but maybe not. We'll see.
Okay.
I wouldn't move on from Stefanski, by the way, but that's just me. And I don't have a tie to CAA or whatever else that people are out there saying with certain people in the media. So if Cleveland's 1, then the pick is Mendoza, right? Obviously.
Right.
Then the Giants would move down to 4. We can get to them in a minute. Vegas is sitting at 2. It's got to be Dante Moore. I don't like the inexperience, but you have to draft Dante Moore there. If Moore is in this quarterback
in this scenario, he's in the class, then I'm with you.
All right. So then that takes, let me jot this down. Mendoza's off the board. Dante Moore's off the board. Now pick 3. Tennessee sitting at 3. Who would you choose there if you're the Titans?
Arvell Reese is really, I think they need, I would go Arvell Reese because I think that, technically need an edge. I think in their system as an edge, he would be outstanding. I would go Arvell Reese.
I would too. All day long. Long. His talent level is just different. And I honestly think he's just kind of scratching the surface. It's his first year as a full-time starter.
Yeah. Wild.
So now you've got the Giants at 4 with needs, but And I get and Malik Neighbors is coming back, but I still think in losing Malik, you saw the lack of true depth show up. So no wide receiver here
At 4?
Okay, who else are you taking, big boy?
Spencer Fano from Utah, the right tackle. They have a great left tackle. Now you add a great right tackle. You solidify your offensive line for a young quarterback that has a hard time protecting himself. Let's make him take as few hits as possible. I build teams from, in the trenches, McShay. That's how you're supposed to do it. I think Fano's the number 5 player on my board. You take him at 4. That's great for me.
I mean, it might be why the Giants try to move back even more to justify.
That's why I think they could entertain the Jets, because if the Jets are willing to give them more, they could potentially get a Fano at 7. I think that could happen.
I don't like it, Mensch.
4 for Carnell Tate. I love Carnell Tate. 4.
Okay, fine. We'll go Fano.
Okay.
Fine.
It's going to stick with you.
You're bossy today.
I'm just sticking up for my guys, man.
I just don't think well, we'll see. All right. Fine. It's a collaboration. The TMS.
Yep. I really appreciate
Flash
it.
mock. I'm not good at it. Just ask my daughter earlier. Okay, so here we are at number 5. New Orleans. They needed I think they need edge. They need wide receiver. They could use offensive line. They need a lot of things. It's Keldrick Falk at 5. I just like the wide receivers more than you do. That's the problem.
Yeah. You can go with your guy here.
I don't see it. There's Mansour Delane is the best corner in the class from what I've seen so far.
I love him.
Agreed.
But I didn't put him in my top 10. I love him, but I didn't put him in my top 10.
He's in the top 15. Go find out where in the McShay report. But and honestly, as I was doing this exercise, this cornerback class is turning out to be a lot better than I thought, with some names that like weren't.
I got a lot of work to do there, man, because I'm feeling the same way. Like I needs to get sorted out a little bit more here now.
I mean, there's obviously Avion Terrell, Brandon Sissy from
Jamal McCoy didn't play at all this year.
Jamal McCoy, a lot of people think he's still the top corner in the country. Devin Moore from Florida. I talked to a scout recently, said like this guy, if it's not first, it's round 2. If
Colton Hood.
Muhammad from Texas. Keith Abney from Arizona State, Colton Hood,
Chris
Tennessee.
Johnson, San Diego.
Davison Igbinosun has done wonders for his career. Kelly Jones, the other cornerback from Mississippi State. So there's some dudes. All right. So we're at New Orleans.
San Diego State, by the way.
What?
Chris Johnson, San Diego State is a dude to keep an eye on too.
Yes. And Pons had an awesome game too in Ohio State from Indiana. All right, we're done with the cornerback rant. New Orleans. It's to me, it's Falk or a wide receiver.
I mean, I'm going to favor the guy up front. That's what I do, and I think that Falk's a better value there. I love Carnell Tate though, and I'll
go Falk there. I'll go Falk.
Okay,
I'll go Falk.
All right,
I'm fine with that. So Falk goes 5 to New Orleans. We thought all last year they would draft the next Cam Jordan replacement. Thought it could be Michael Williams. Didn't wind up being.
Yep.
They went offensive tackle, right? Yep. They went
Kelvin Banks
tackle.
Jr.
Kelvin Banks Jr. and great. It's been a great pick.
Yep.
All right, so we'll take Falk off the list. So here, still on the board now, Jeremiah Love, running back Notre Dame, Caleb Downs, Ohio State, and the 3 wide receivers, Tate, Lemon, Tyson, and Maui Noah, the offensive tackle guard from Miami, and Peter Woods from Clemson, interior defensive lineman. So those are the names still on the board as we get to 6 through 10 in this flash mock. One of our favorite exercises to do. Mensch called it early in the season. It's December 11th. Kind of early, but I kind of love it.
I think it's the second time I've done it too. I just like these.
Washington, here are the needs I've got for them. Edge, receiver, corner, linebacker. I mean,
I could see Tate. I could see Tate here.
Another.
You want to do it? Who's your edge? If it's not that, it's going to be. I don't know where you have.
No, David Bailey and Ruben Bain are down the list. Check out the McShay report to see where they are, but they're in the top 20. I can say that.
But not there, right? Yeah. No, I think
it feels rich.
And I don't know. That's my thing with some of this is the good part of this exercise, right? Some of my guys that I have high, the positional value is not there. I get Tate here. Here.
Carnell Tate, number 6 pick to the Washington Commanders. Moving on from that, then number 7, New York Jets couldn't get their quarterback. Got a couple first-round picks this year to build around it. Got a couple first-round picks next year. Quarterback is their number 1 need. Outside of that, I've got wide receiver, interior defensive line, offensive line, as 3 of the other needs, but they obviously can go in a lot of different directions. Could this be Mekhi Lemon or Jordan Tyson? Could this be Francis Maui Noah? Could this be, what else did I say? Peter Woods? Peter Woods, maybe.
Yeah, Peter Woods is interesting to me.
Like, smart drafting would say you just gave up an interior defensive lineman in a trade as you're trying to let's get younger. Let's build from the inside out. Let's go Peter Woods here.
Okay.
It just feels good. And
Maui Noah, by the way, for kind of similar reasons, I kind of like Maui Noah too, but I like Woods better.
Okay. I don't disagree. All right, so Peter Woods goes 7 to the Jets. 8, Arizona. It's got to be Love. I love to Arizona at 8.
Yep.
Jeremiah Love, running back. It's the best fit in the early portion of the first round, wherever Arizona winds up picking. Yeah. So Jeremiah Love, your number 1 prospect, my number 4 prospect, comes off the board at 8 to Arizona. 9, Rams. Postponing the quarterback thing. Let's not project a trade here.
Right.
Although I would put an asterisk on this and say Les Snead will aggressively be pursuing trying to pick up a first-round pick next year to be part of that Arch Manning, Julian Sayin, Lenoris Sellers, maybe Ty Simpson, maybe Dante Moore. I know I'm missing some other names, but it's a loaded class. If you talk to some scouts, like don't forget about Nico Iamaliava. So there's just a lot of dudes that could have big years and propel them. The Rams, I could see Caleb Downs here. Just take the best player.
Yeah.
I could also see offensive line. I could see offensive line with Maui Noah.
I agree.
Those are the two players specifically for their needs. I've got offensive tackle, I've got quarterback down the line, safety, corner, receiver. They can go any of those directions.
Do they fall in love with the corner after the workouts and all that? We'll see. But right now, I like Downs.
Okay. And if Downs doesn't go 9, he could go 10 to Cincinnati. But let's plug Downs in. Caleb Downs, the number 5 player on my board. Where'd you have Caleb Downs?
6.
So
I
so good
know
value.
How good I feel about that. Yeah.
Downs goes to the Rams in that trade they had with Atlanta in last year's draft. And then 10 Cincinnati. I mean, does it have to be an edge? Because I don't envision a world in which I think Peter Woods, if he were still available, would be on the table. I think Caleb Downs.
Do you feel like it's the
available.
best defensive player available at this point?
Absolutely.
That's what it feels like.
Absolutely. And on my board, I've got Lemon and Tyson at wide receiver. I get Maui Noah at offensive tackle guard. Could this be Mansour Delane? But you're probably looking at losing Hendrickson and who opposite him.
Yeah.
You're losing, but you drafted an edge last year. This is either going to be David Bailey, Ruben Bain, or Mansour Delane.
Or Messidor. I feel like Messidor could get sneaky and move up.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, Hakeem Messidor, the edge from Miami, is someone to keep an eye on. But I do have Bailey and Bain Jr. ahead of him right now. But it's a name to keep an eye on.
I'm glad you mentioned it because when I told you back in October, by the way, when I talked to a scout, he was Messidor over Bain all day long. So that was an interesting conversation. And since then, you've seen kind of a groundswell, right?
Yeah. I love this exercise, man.
You drafted an edge last year in Texas A&M and Stewart, right? That powerful. Pressures, not production, not sack production.
So you're looking for a compliment.
David Bailey feels like the compliment because are you going to draft another one of those guys in Bain? And while I loved Mansour Delane, corners have been following the last couple of years.